Welcome to Superintendent Radio Network. I'm Golf Course Industry Publisher Plus Editor-in-Chief Guy Cipriano, and welcome to season number 6 of the Disease Discussion podcast. Our guest for episode number 24 as we start this new season is a familiar one, BASF Senior Technical Specialist Kyle Miller. Kyle's going to discuss what to look for in the spring, how to develop a consistent spray program, an approach that leads to season-long control, and a fairways solution released last year. Before we get going with Kyle, a message from our disease discussion partner. Want your course to be considered among the greatest of all turf? Then you need a fungicide that's a fairway MVP. Introducing Airmax Intrinsic brand fungicide. This powerhouse of a solution features a dual-active, broad-spectrum formulation that delivers advanced control of up to 26 diseases like snow mold, large patch, brown patch, and dollar spot, plus the powerful plant health benefits of Intrinsic brand fungicides. Add to your rotation today and prepare to take your fairways to the max. Visit betterturf.basf.us to learn more. Huge thanks to BASF for the support with this podcast, and they've supported us all 6 seasons now. And now on to our conversation with Kyle. Well, Kyle, thanks for joining the Disease Discussion podcast again. It's always a joy to speak with you. Over the years, you've seen a lot of successful disease control programs. Where should a superintendent be at this point in the year? We're recording this in early spring with his or her disease control preparation for the upcoming peak golf season.
Well, yeah, good morning, Guy, and hello from the Mid-Atlantic. Love talking about turf. And I guess at this point with superintendents, they need to make sure their programs are calendarized and really be on the verge of that first application going out very soon or in the next few weeks, depending on their geography. I think something that's important is they need to go and recheck and make sure that the products that they want to use this year are there and the amounts that they're needed in are in the chemical storage room. And also, it's been a cold winter. They need to go in and make sure that nothing accidentally froze because that could be a problem down the road. So a few things to be thinking about before that first spray happens.
Kyle, how does a technical specialist such as yourself track and follow disease pressure patterns and concerns?
Well, I'm lucky because I support the northern U.S. and I've got 7 sales reps that cover that area. So during the season, I'm routinely in touch with them to get a pulse on the disease pressure in their respective geographies. And then in addition, I'm in touch with other tech reps on my team, university researchers, distributors, and superintendents, which allows me to get a really good handle on what's going on across much of the country.
Do you sort of have like a disease monitor on your computer, like you see with the weather people? What's the room like in the Mid-Atlantic that you work out of when you're not traveling?
Well, one of the things that I've always said too with superintendents, they're superintendents first, they're meteorologists a close second, and so that's so very important to track the weather because on their particular golf course it could be different than a mile down the road. So, yeah, they need to be on top of what's going on.
Kyle, what are some indicators that suggest it's getting close to go time with controlling disease, especially on shortcut playing surfaces?
Well, we've always been of the opinion, let the turf talk to you. Once you've done 2 or 3 mowings, it's time to get started and initiate your spray program. That's when growth begins and the turf is susceptible to multiple pathogens. So let's make sure that we get out in front of the disease pressure. This also means take some time now to get your sprayer dialed in so that there are no surprises when you go out for that first spray.
Kyle, how critical are the early season sprays to season-long disease control success?
Well, I tell you what, when I talk to experts about why fungicide applications fail during the season, the number one answer is getting a late start, which means playing catch-up all season. So those folks that wait, they're the ones that are going to get in trouble. The importance of those early season preventative sprays cannot be emphasized enough. And Guy, as you know, we've always promoted start early and finish strong. And I think that's just so important.
What does the term consistency mean to you and the BASF team? We hear that a lot in agronomics and disease control. What does that word consistency mean to you and your team?
Well, we know that superintendents come to rely on our fungicides to deliver what we say they will deliver. The last thing that we want, Guy, is for them to do everything right and a product let them down. It's very important for us to provide the same performance and efficacy time after time when they're doing their part. We feel that BASF provides some top shelf fungicides for sure, and we want to work with supers to deliver excellent and consistent results time after time. Superintendents also need to educate themselves on new products and evaluate them to make sure expectations are met. I've always said they need to look at their golf course as a research location and do side-by-side trials so that they know what they can expect from different products.
What type of diligence and methodology does it take for a golf course superintendent and golf course maintenance team to develop that consistent control program, especially when we're talking about fairways, which are the biggest shortcut playing surfaces on a golf course?
I feel like past experience is very important in dialing in a consistent and an effective disease control program. I think it's really tough when a new superintendent takes over a job and just has no idea. So that definitely helps to have some previous experience. And to me, Guy, fairways are actually more difficult from a disease control standpoint because usually we're not applying products as routinely to those surfaces. You know, on greens, you might have 10, 15, 20 applications per year, whereas on fairways, it might come down to 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever it might be. So that's a big deal. I think it's important to plan your work and work your plan. This doesn't mean that, you can't make adjustments during the season because I think, too, superintendents have a great feel for that and can make in-season adjustments by changing a product or adding a product or tightening up spray intervals. And those are the superintendents that succeed.
Before we get back to Kyle, another word from the disease discussion sponsor. Build a strong foundation of plant health and set yourself up for greatness with the BASF Intrinsic Holiday Spray Program. Your key to creating championship conditions for both cool and warm season turfgrass. This easy-to-follow program uses seasonal holidays to guide your applications of intrinsic brand fungicides, giving you the ultimate game plan to control disease, conquer stress, and deliver exceptional turf. Rise above the pressure with a simple strategy rooted in real results and be the GOAT, the greatest of all turf. Visit betterturf.basf.us/holiday spray to learn more. Now back to our conversation with Kyle. What tools and resources are available to help a superintendent develop that consistency with their spray program when dealing with something that can be as inconsistent, it's very inconsistent, as spring and early summer weather?
Yeah, like I said earlier, superintendents or superintendents first and meteorologists a close second. Weather does play a really important role, and reacting to that is paramount, I think, in having a successful disease control program. I know there are many apps and other resources to help, but what is going on at their golf course can outdo a lot of tools and resources. Nothing like the old nursery rhyme, Jack be nimble and Jack be quick. So be responsive to changing conditions.
Speaking of quick, and we're going to go off script here, what are some diseases that can really emerge fast in the spring that somebody should be on the lookout for fairways?
Well, I think the first one that sort of comes out of winter is a lot of times we'll have pink snow mold. Mm-hmm. And the other one, too, is leaf spot. We can get leaf spot within a matter of a day or two, and it caused some damage to turf. So those are the ones I think that sort of jump out at you initially. Mm-hmm. Rust and some of the slime molds, for example, can also be a problem early on in the year. Obviously, dollar spot, but that usually takes a little bit of time to get going. But those other ones I feel like are definitely quicker.
Yeah, speaking of consistency, we'll keep with this theme here. BASF's holiday spray program has become an industry staple. What has made that program so effective and reliable over the course of the last few years, Kyle?
Well, I feel like we've made it exceptionally easy for superintendents to remember and use intrinsic products during the summer stress period. We can not only deliver excellent disease control, but also provide plant health benefits to turf during the most stressful times of the year. Using the summer holidays as a template, Memorial Day and July 4th and Labor Day, is an easy reminder of when key intrinsic products need to be used and provide a two for the price of one.
How can following the holiday spray program elevate fairway conditioning?
You might remember that the holiday spray program started on putting surfaces, but we soon found out that similar programs could be implemented on fairways to provide great playing surfaces there all summer long. And while fairways do not receive the same level of stress as putting greens, the tough summer months can affect turf quality during a period of time when superintendents are called on to provide great playing conditions from tee to green for their membership or paying customers, resort guests, whoever it might be.
Where can a superintendent go to find the holiday spray program? Is it a matter of contacting the rep, or are there some online resources, Kyle?
So at our BASF Turf homepage, very easy to find that holiday spray program right in there. And this time of the year, you're going to see it splashed on that homepage pretty routinely.
So last year, BASF released Aramax intrinsic brand fungicide. Where does this solution fit into the holiday spray program?
Aramax is a great addition to the portfolio. It delivers very broad spectrum disease control, and being an intrinsic product, it also delivers plant health benefits at a fairway price. It is ideal during the spring and fall shoulder seasons, if you will, and also an ideal product for late into the season for snow mold applications. It's really our first snow mold product that we've come to the market with. And then also in those warm season areas, it is ideal to be integrated into a large patch control program.
It's been on the market for about a year. What have you learned about Aramax intrinsic brand fungicide based on the feedback you've received from golf course superintendents and others in the market?
Well, yeah, those superintendents are saying that they're glad to have a new snow mold option. And with our buildable snow mold assurance program, they can pick whether to use Aramax as a solo product or with a tank mix partner, depending on pressure. And when it comes to Aramax on fairways, many have used Insignia in the past, Guy, and now we've just amped that up with the addition of triticonazole or Trinity to the Insignia to provide Aramax, and they are seeing stellar disease control and plant health benefits.
Kyle, I know I've asked you about this with other products over the years. What do you learn in year two when something's on a market? You know, year one, there's the excitement and the release. What do you learn that second year about how it's being used?
Yeah, I feel like you said, that first year is sort of a test it out. A lot of superintendents might just spray one fairway or, a few greens or their practice putting green or their practice range tee. I think that second year is when you really get a good feel for the acceptance of a new product, and superintendents, have enough confidence to go ahead and treat all of their fairways or all of their greens or all of their tees, whatever it might be. So that's the way I think we see things actually sort of pan out.
In addition to having great technical and research and development teams, BASF does a tremendous job of listening to customers and potential customers. What role does superintendent feedback play in helping BASF develop a disease control approach such as the holiday spray program and solutions such as Aramax intrinsic brand fungicide?
We always have our ear to the ground. We're in the business to provide solutions to problems a superintendent encounters on their golf course. And we feel like the holiday spray program and Airmax are in response to that.
What would be the ideal feedback given to you and the BASF team 6 months from now about the holiday spray program and Airmax?
Yeah, well, I think it's pretty simple. And that being, I hope superintendents are saying BASF delivers what they preach. It is so important to meet a superintendent's expectations for disease control. And while we feel like we've got excellent products, the proof is with that superintendent and what our products deliver to him or her. The best way to maximize playing conditions is to stay nimble, adjust when you need to, and reaching out when you need help. We all want superintendents to succeed, and we feel like we can be a great resource to help with them achieve that success.
Last thing, Kyle, what fascinates you about 2025? You've been doing this for a long time at a very high level. You know, you've looked at some of the winter conditions. It's starting to warm up in spring. What fascinates you about this year in particular?
It's always great to see these lawns green up and just, the golf courses begin to green up. And you just know we're going to be off to the races before you know it. We're going to be seeing golfers out there on the golf course. And, Guy, it's just a good feeling because it's a great sport. We continue to see it grow. It's my background's in turf. I love turf. I grew up on a golf course. I grew up working on a golf course and playing golf. And I don't know. I welcome the season. It's welcoming summer. A lot of people like going out on their boat or playing tennis or whatever it might be. It just feels really, really good, and I'm excited about it.
Any last things you want to add that superintendents and others in the industry should be aware of as we really get to go time here?
Yeah, like I said, I think it's just important to have everything sort of spelled out on your calendars and start early. Do not wait. And I think, too, what we see a lot of times, Guy, is folks that want to delete a spray here, delete a spray there because they feel like, well, I don't have that much pressure now. Those are the ones that end up getting in trouble because it only takes a few days of weather patterns to, initiate disease problems. So be careful about that. And then the other thing, too, is, you might have your spray program inked out, but be responsive to the weather patterns and don't be concerned about adjusting, adding. And I think, too, one of the things that we saw last year, Guy, was we had situations where, on fairways, maybe their spray interval might have been 21 days, and they just wanted to stick to that. Well, pressure gets so high sometimes, that doesn't work. You need to tighten up that spray interval in order to get the same level of control. We feel like we've got great products, but they can only do so much. They need to be thinking about adjusting things.
Well, Kyle, this was awesome, and you're absolutely right. You can never be too far ahead on anything in life, whether it's a spray program or preparing for a podcast or getting your golf game right. And you're absolutely right about the green up time being absolutely magical if you love the game of golf. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for everything that you and BASF do for golf course superintendents and their teams. And we hope you have a great 2025, and we look forward to our next conversation, Kyle.
Looking forward to it, Guy. Thank you.